awareness, you will be shifted into barzakh and you're still aware that you are. And from that awareness, you'll be shifted on the day of judgment where you'll be standing, you're still aware that you are. And from that, you will be shifted towards the Pule Sarat, and you still will be aware that you are. This awareness that you are, and afterwards, whatever feelings that you have of happiness or sadness is not you. Those are something which is separate from your awareness that you are. Okay? This awareness that you are is also the problem and is also the solution. And the brother also said that our issue is self-love. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us one heart. Everybody is asking for it. Problem is He hasn't given us two. So at the end of the day, we have to give this heart to something or someone. And you can only give it to one. You cannot give it to multiple. Right? So if I was to, just as an example, if you happen to be parents, you say to your daughter that, I love you 95%. And she's going to be like, okay, who do you love? The 5%. If you're married, if you were to say to your wife, I love you 95%, she's not going to be happy. She's going to say, well, whoever you love that 5%, go to that person. Right? If you say to even, people become very, if they're iPhone, then they will defend iPhone, right? And if they're Samsung people, they will defend Samsung. But you don't have a person who says, I love Samsung as well and I love iPhone too. So the issue here is that you only have one thing or one being that you can give this heart to. You cannot give it to multiple. The decision is yours and mine whom to give. That's our choice. But you are going to give it to someone. Okay. Every decision that you are going to make or I make, it's out of either fear or love. Right? Think about this. Every decision that you have ever made is either fear or love. And out of the two, which one would you choose? Would you rather make a decision based on fear, or would you rather make a decision out of love? Which one? Okay? It's not a trick question. You're not going to be judged. Out of love. We would like to. But majority of the time, the decisions that we're making is out of fear, because fear is the most powerful thing that controls us. It's not love. For example, you fasted today, alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your fast. How many of you fasted, or you said that I'm going to fast? It was to go to heaven. You can show me why. I keep losing audience. I don't know. It's me. It's the iftari. Anyways, maybe by the end we'll be just like 4 or 5 of us. So you fasted. And if somebody was to ask, what did you fast for? You would say, you can tell me, why did you fast? I mean, from Fajr till Maghrib, you did not eat anything. You didn't have your Tim Hortons. You didn't have your ice caps. You didn't have, I saw a lot of the youth going to Tim Hortons coming back, with ice caps and coffee because they didn't have it. Why did you do it? Why didn't you have water? What was it? Just tell me, yes. Yes. What was the reason? Loyalty to Allah. Yes. Yes, that's the main reason we fast, because we have to. Because if we don't, then we don't want to go to hell. And this decision is actually based on fear. Because we're afraid of burning. We're afraid of living a life in pain and suffering. So the decision we made to fast was not out of love. It was out of fear. Why do you go to high school? I really love going to high school. I really love doing this assignment because I've been giving this, and I can't wait to finish. I would love to go to university, and I love spending the time in university and doing all my assignments and getting a degree. I love it. Is it? Do you wake up in the morning and go, I love going to the high school? You do it because out of fear. One, you have to. If you don't, your parents are not going to be happy. Or even coming to this center, most of us, I don't know, why did you come? My parents made me. I had to. Why? Because if I didn't, they would be upset. So it's out of fear. Majority or 99%, or I don't know, majority of the decisions that you and I make is out of fear, not out of love. So we are very much familiar with fear, but we're not very familiar with actually love. And this self-love, okay, so I love my parents. Why do you love them? Because they're your parents. I love my brother and sister. Why do you do? It's because they're yours. I love my phone because it's yours. Right? I love my hair because, say it, come on, we don't have that much time. Why do you love your hair? Because it's yours. I love my face. I love my clothes. Right? Because it's yours. But the other thing too is like your haircut. I love my haircut because it's mine, but you're actually copying someone else's haircut. But you like it when it's yours. You know? In the days, be like Mike. I used to say. So be like Michael Jordan, right? Now you guys have LeBron James, or you have, I don't know if he's big anymore, somebody else. Might not be up to date. I'm one of the social media influencer. You choose someone else, but once you choose someone else and you become that, it's not because you love that person or that thing. You do it because for your own self, your own self-love. See? Why do you want to go to heaven? It's out of self-love. We say qurbatan ilallah, but we're actually saying qurbatan ilal jannah. It's not really for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's to get closer to heaven and avoid hell. Does anybody know what Ramadan means? It was nice that you're giving me the attention, and your focus and you're listening, but still a little bit of, what does Ramadan mean? I mean, we are here, it's written. What does Ramadan mean? One of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does it mean? But you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, huh? Huh? What does it mean? I hope it means the same that I know what it means. Ramadan is one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which signifies someone who loves deeply. The love is not from the surface. The love is not from with conditions. The love is not out of transactions, but someone who loves you deeply without any conditions, without any transactions. Who can be the one who can love unconditionally? That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every one of us, the reason why we love something else or someone else is out of conditions. Your parents will love you and they will still love you because you're their daughter or their son. That doesn't change. It's out of blood. Right? You can be good or bad. They'll still love you. Why? Because you're their daughter and son. But the other way they will love you is if you obey and you become a better human being and a better Muslim. Conditions. Right? So what does Ramadan mean? It's one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it means someone who loves you deeply, unconditionally, without any transactions. So someone whose name is that and the month is of that. Wouldn't it be nice if we could fast one of our fasts out of love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Instead of wanting to avoid hell and going to heaven? As Musa ﷺ was told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tell my creations to love me. As Musa ﷺ said that, okay, I love you, but how am I supposed to tell your creations to love you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, tell them to start counting my blessings. They will fall in love with me. Right? So perhaps one of the reasons why we haven't fallen in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is because maybe perhaps we're heedless or unaware of the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. Or perhaps we think of these blessings as our right. None of the blessings that we have is our right. It's given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's start counting your blessings. Should we? Well, your mind is going there now. Are eyes your blessings? Like, is it a blessing, eyes? Yeah? What if you couldn't see? Would you still have blessings? What would be the other blessing you would have? Maybe to be able to hear? Yes? What if you couldn't hear? Would you still have blessings? Yes? Your mouth, your speech. What if you couldn't speak? Yes. Your arms. We keep on going. Let's say you had nothing that, you would just had the awareness that you are. Is it still not a blessing? Yes. We start counting the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is gravity a blessing or not? If there was no gravity, guess what we will be doing right now? Is moon not a blessing? Is the solar system not a blessing? The sun, is it not a blessing? Is the Milky Way? 240 or 280 billion galaxies around the world in this universe. Trillions of planets and stars. Do you know how many Earths we have like this in the universe? The same Earth that we live on? The Goldie planet. Do you know? Does anybody know? Before they used to think there's only 6 of these kind of planets in the whole universe. Now what they're saying is the mathematical probability of the same sort of planet we live in are that many that are the grains of sand on this earth. Just to give you an idea, a sugar cube, you guys might use sugar cubes in your tea. 8 billion grains of sugar is in that 1 centimeter squared sugar cube. Now imagine, just think about all of the sand on this planet. There is no number that you can come up with that would quantify the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us. Isn't it very strange for a person who loses one versus all of the trillions and trillions that he has given to you and just focuses on that one and gets upset? And not just get upset, gets mad at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh, I was supposed to pass because I did Ziyarat Ashura and everything, and I told this Maulana to pray dua, do dua for me. And I went through, I even did like Salatul Layl, and then I failed. Everybody else passed, but why did I fail? My parents are like 5'10" or 12, or 6 foot. And all the rest of my brothers are tall as well. How come you have to make me like 5'6"? You gave so many other people this really perfect nose. Why do you have to give me a nose that's so huge? When you look in the mirror, I don't like this, I don't like that. What are we doing? We're complaining to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let me give you a definition of what a blessing is. And since, I don't know, I think another 3 more hours, close to 3 more hours, we're going to be together, which is not today. It'll be divided over the course of the whole 15 days. So I'll come back, inshallah. I'll give you the definition of how you can think of a blessing. And what is the opposite is a curse. Anything that takes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a blessing. And anything that takes you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a curse. If your physical beauty takes you close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this physical beauty is a blessing. And if it takes you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a curse. If money takes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a blessing. If it takes you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a curse. If your health takes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a blessing. If it takes you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a curse. If you have children, if the children take you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are a blessing. If they take you away, they are a curse. If you have a job, it takes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a blessing. If it takes you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a curse. If you have a degree, takes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a blessing. Takes you away, it's a curse. Did we get this definition? Now, if you were to tally the blessings that you have, they are relative to this definition. Therefore, some of the blessings you are thinking are blessings are not going to be blessings. What did I say? Somebody said the blessings are eyes. Yes? One of the brothers here. If these eyes you're using to commit the atrocities and sins that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told you not to do, then these eyes are not a blessing. They're actually a curse. Because if you're a blind person, you would not have committed those atrocities. Ears, hearing is a blessing, but when is it hearing a blessing? If you're hearing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained for you to hear, that is getting you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're listening to music, it was better if you didn't hear anything. At least you would be safe from that. Right? And since we're on the topic of music, one thing that music does is that makes you selfish. One thing that music does is make you selfish, or selfish in other words, makes you fall more in love with your own self, and it eventually makes you lose empathy, which is actually a human trait for others. I'm sure you guys are not going to admit the fact that you listen to music because it's a religious setting, but if you were just among your own selves and you were talking to each other, I'm sure you would open up that, yeah, I listen to this guy, or listen. Now what happens when you listen to music, your brain secretes dopamines, And these dopamines that are secreted are almost like same thing as an addiction. It makes you feel good. And then you get addicted to it. And the more you listen to it, the more of these dopamines that you want. And it just becomes a selfish act. And the more of this selfish act that you're involved with, the less empathy that you're going to have. And then your mother is saying, you disobeyed her, you broke her heart, and she's telling you that what you're doing is wrong, you've broken my heart, and you are numb to it. Like, okay, I broke your heart. So blessing is what? So, come on. It helps me for the next thought. Come on. A blessing is something or someone that gets you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a blessing, and something or someone that takes you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a curse. And because it's relative, even some of the things that, for example, Quran. Is Quran a blessing or not? Quran is a blessing. But if recitation of the Quran, a person only does it to show off, so they can, let's say, win a competition. They don't understand a word they're saying, but they're reading it in such a beautiful voice that, just to show off, then this Quran is not a blessing for that person, rather than it's a curse. There are, in traditions, you'll find that there are many people who recite the Quran, and the Quran is doing la'an to them. You think this speech is a blessing? It's a blessing? It is only a blessing if I can do it sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you can listen sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, it would have been better if I didn't drive from Brampton to come here. So, Hazrat Musa was told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want, to fall in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that have my creation count the blessings that they have, and they will fall in love with me. So the decision that you're going to make to fall in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a very tough one and is a very easy one. Okay? It's a tough one because you might have given your heart to something else. And it's a very easy one that because you only have to give it to one, that we understood, right? I had made this point already. You only have one heart. You can only give it to one person or one thing, right? See? Is this same means like in Urdu is like, okay, correct, right? Bibi Zainab was young. Imam Ali they're having a conversation, and Bibi Zainab asked Imam Ali, do you love us? Do you love me? Imam said, yes, I love you. And then Bibi Zainab asked, do you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He said, yeah, I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Bibi Zainab said that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't put two hearts in the chest of a person. You love us as well, you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala too, that's two. And then she said that, why don't you shower the love that you have of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us? She was young, and this particular tradition is to show the level of understanding and the closeness and the knowledge that Bibi Zainab had. And that is the solution to this equation. Tika? Tika means okay. So what is the solution to this equation is The love, first fall in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then that love shower upon everything. And that would be fine. Everything would be okay. Alright? Okay? Done, right? We're done. Why do you love your mother? So we'll just go through a few things. You've already know the answer. Why do you love your mother? Because she's your mother? Yes. How about you change that statement? Because she's a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How about that? And then whatever love you have for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just shower that on your mother. Then now in this, you are not the focus. You are not the reason for this love. It's not yourself. You see? Reason why you love your mother is because she's a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She's also the projection of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because she's your mother, but she's also the projection of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has given that to us that, I love you 60 times more than your own mother. Right? Why do you love your studies, for example? Okay, we're just going, why would you love the assignment in physics that has been given to you? Why do you love it so much? And remember, we're not doing this out of fear now. Okay, not because of fear that if I don't do the assignment, I'm not going to graduate from university or high school. Yes. To get good grades, yeah, but that's still you're still getting good grades for yourself, right? So that you can have the plaque or you can have the degree or be appreciated and not get scolded by parents or the school that you go to. No, okay, I'll tell you. I love doing the assignment of physics because this assignment of physics is going to tell me about the laws that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. And by understanding these laws that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created or His creation, I'm going to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to understand the greatness of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is going to direct me towards the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, I love this assignment of physics that I'm doing. You see? Yes or no? Okay, why do you love Samsung? Let's get to ground reality. Why do you love your phone? Yes. It's useful. Okay. It's a tool. Pastime. How about we say it's not really a pastime, but like an escape. And really, I think phone and movies and Netflix is just an escape because we don't like the reality or ourselves that we are living in. Maybe perhaps I would rather be Spider-Man than who I am. It'd be nice to climb the walls and shoot the webs and, no way coming home and go through all of these different dimensions. And I'd rather just be that. Right? Why is it that you like your phone? Why is it that you like the social media? Why do you like movies? It's because I think it's an escape because we're not comfortable with ourselves anymore. Imagine, I'm just giving you as a scenario, you go home, there's no Wi-Fi. What are you going to do? It could be, one of these days it could happen. If you didn't have Wi-Fi, what would you do with yourself? Your phone stops working, what are you going to do? We should, that we should try this, okay? It's very easy. No, it is difficult to stay away from water and stay away from food from, Fajr till Maghrib. How about a roza? How about a fast of your phone? Can you do it? How about from Fajr, right? You put your phone away and you're not going to look at it till Maghrib. Can you do it? Oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't ordained that, so I'm okay. He hasn't said that, oh, if you don't look at your phone for 24 18 hours or 16 hours, you're going to go to hell. So I'm okay. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that there are many people who do fast, but they don't get anything out of this fast but hunger and thirst. There are many worshippers who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they don't get anything out of that but just the pain and suffering of the body. Just try this one fast, okay? Could you? Could you let go of your phone for the sake of the Imam of the time? I mean, we all stood up when his name came. We all put our hands like this. Could you let go of your phone for 24 hours for the sake of the Imam? I was at a place somewhere and I was talking and I mentioned this and there were some youths, brothers. One of them threw his phone. He just threw his phone on the ground. It's like, I can do this for the Imam. Would you be able to let go of the distractions and escapes that we are in for the sake of Allah? It's easy to let go of water and food now, right? It is difficult, but thank you. Somebody threw their phone. Alhamdulillah. When you're fasting, you can say that I'm going to have a fast of Netflix. I'm not going to watch Netflix today. Or I'm going to have a fast of YouTube. I'm not going to watch YouTube. Right? The reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained the fasting for us is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that perhaps some of you might have the ability and the power of control. Inshallah, next time that we see each other, we'll talk about the meaning of taqwa. Spirituality is nothing but control. If you can recite du'as really well, you can do all of this, you can do zikr or remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but if you don't have control over your tongue, you're not a spiritual person. If you don't have control over your anger, you're not a spiritual person. If you can't control your sadness or remorse or regrets and come out of it, you're not a spiritual person. If you can't control your ears, you're not a spiritual person. Taqwa, if you were to come into a definition, and we can talk about the different angles inshallah next time, but it's about control. And this fasting was supposed to give us control. Right? So maybe if one of you can do, maybe I'll take 5 more minutes and I'll be done. If one of you can do this, one fast, I'm only asking for one fast. Okay? No phone for one day. Or no YouTube, okay, you can have your phone, but no YouTube for one day. Or no going on TikTok for one day. Or no Instagram. We lived in a time when you had to write a letter to someone and it took like a couple of weeks, sometimes a month to get it. So if you have a WhatsApp message and you don't reply to it in the next 5 minutes, the world is not going to end. Right? This urgency that they have given to you, if you reply to the WhatsApp message tomorrow, it's still okay. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to be fine. Right? So try that one day. Because these are excuses we get. Oh, if I don't have my phone, that somebody needs to reach me, it's okay. I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, and I'm not seeing faces that are going to say, yes, tomorrow I'm not going to have my phone on. Yes, tomorrow no more TikTok, no more Instagram, no more of this social media. I'm going to become unplugged. If you're plugged in, you cannot plug into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a simple truth. In order to plug into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to have to unplug. It's very, very simple. Oh no, these are tools. Okay, fine. Just 5 more minutes on this, okay? Because these are objections I get. Oh, it's just a tool. Okay. Is knife a tool or not? Is it? A knife is a tool. Yes? Yes? Okay. What other tools, like a plier is a tool? Yes? Okay. Any other tools you think of? Something else? Huh? Screwdriver, yes, is a tool. Right? So you have the plier, you have the knife in a cabinet. How many of you say that this knife or this plier has power over me? I just can't. I cannot resist. I cannot control myself. I need to go grab this plier. And not just once, 85 times. Are you okay? You okay? Is that a tool? Is that the definition of a tool? The phone or social media is not a tool, it's our master. You don't like this word Mawla, you don't like this word master? It's a drug. You get an addict and put heroin or cocaine or marijuana in the closet or in the cupboard. He's going to have the same sort of feeling, I really need to go in. The people who made social media, they said, they've used the word users. There's only two industries that use the word users. One is the drug industry, users, and the other is how many users do we have? So if the phone and the social media was just a tool, it's fine, but it's not a tool. It is an addiction. Something that you're addicted to is your master because you will obey that. And the pure form of knowing that it is addiction is leave it and see what happens. You will get withdrawals. You will be shaky, your mind would get foggy, you would get agitated, you would not know what to do with yourself. You still think a phone is a tool? Like your pliers, like yours, all of these things. Leave it in the cupboard. How difficult is that for you? Not difficult at all. People will, okay, I forgot my wallet. I'll go like 10 kilometers back to get my wallet. It's okay. If I'm driving, the police officer asks me, where is your license? I'll tell him I forgot. Money, no worries. I'll go ask somebody else. But if you forgot your phone, and you go back. Why? It's just a tool. Leave it, Baba. It's okay. It'll still be there when you come home. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just a tool. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. No worries, right? But you go back and you pick up your phone. The first thing for an addict to start having the road of recovery is to admit that that person is an addict. If, as long as you are going to say, oh, it's just a tool, it's for this, it's for that, it's for this, there will be no room for, there won't be any progress for recovery. The sooner you admit to the fact that you're addicted, the faster you can start the road of recovery. And then you can get, all of this, I achieved one day without my phone, alhamdulillah, then 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and alhamdulillah, I'm now cleansed and I'm not addicted anymore. It's supposed to give you control. And once you have fallen in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything else will fall in place. And then when you go back home, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, when you go back home, you will have everything that your heart desires. Why? Because in this world you fell in love with the one that is in its entirety the absolute of everything. Everything else is just a projection of it. There is only one existence in this universe, and that is the existence of Allah. Someone who has Him has everything, and someone who does not have Him have nothing. Even if you happen to be the most wealthiest person in the face of this. Inshallah, when this counter stops, these breaths that we're taking, and our awareness is shifted to our qabr and so forth, we would take this awareness of deep love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that would become the light and the source by which we will forever remain in tranquility and in His presence, aware that we are in His presence. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. If you had questions and so forth, I don't know in the next coming days if we are going to be allotted any time together for that. The reason why I spoke this way is because I could have given you a textbook, something of your expectation talk. We would have had, great speech, this and that, and still go back on your phones and go home and then, go back to our normality. But these are the bitter truths of our lives. And we need to wake up. If you cannot fall in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means that something is wrong. Perhaps we are ill. Perhaps our hearts are not there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, make you the friends and the followers of the Imam of the time, give you the opportunity to find that control within, and move forward with the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wal asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr.
Thank you for coming and happy Ramadan. There's snacks laid out and there's leftover food on the way out. We'll see you on Friday for suhoor, starting at 11, right?